All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Tucson. Fresh Start is in the house. Get up, get up, get up, get up this morning. Get your cereal, get your drinks, get whatever, your mocha latte, your hot chocolate, your straight black, no cream or
There you go.
sugar. That's my
Come on
granddaddy's
now.
drink right there. Black coffee with nothing in it.
With a lucky strike.
Let's go. Let's get up. It is the Fresh Start Show. Let's go Saturday morning. Fresh Start with Dr. Holt, Tom Cortez. Listen, it's going down. We are excited to be with you on this Saturday morning. Listen, we are excited again for another edition of the Fresh Start Show this Saturday morning. Thank you for all our partners and supporters who continually to support us and make sure that we are making an impact in our community. So we are thankful today. We excited today, and we doing some great things. We are told you we're gonna be doing more than just the big expo. In our city, we're now going to be meeting quarterly. We're going to be putting on empowerment clinics on a quarterly level. I'm going to give you some more information about it at the end of our show, but just keep it locked. Mark your calendars. The Fresh Start in Empowerment Clinic is going down Saturday, March 23rd from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And we're bringing all our partners to help people with their issues, with their legal issues, their suspended license and all that. And we're going to be doing this every quarter all the way down to our final quarter at the October Expo. So keep it locked. I'll give you the address and everything at the end of the show. So keep it locked. Fresh Start Empowerment Clinic going down Saturday, March 23rd. It is the smaller edition of the big expo. We will have our judges. We will have the prosecutor. We will have the public defenders. We will have felony-friendly employment. We will have housing. We're going to have all of that like we do at the expo, but at a smaller level. You guys made a request, and we heard your request, and now we're going to be doing this on a quarterly level. So get excited. I give you more information at the end of the show. All right. We're starting and kicking off on today because we had some madness going on in our community. And you know I'm going to talk about it. That's why we have a bully pulpit. That's why we have a platform where we can speak truth to power. On this past Tuesday night, Tucson Unified School District was getting ready to dismantle, defund, and reallocate the EDI department in the district. That is a major concern. And I want to thank our community for rising up, standing up, and showing up. They did all three on this past Tuesday night at the governing board meeting on this past Tuesday night. And it was a major concern because of the fact that TUSD, the superintendent, wanted to reallocate, defund, and dismantle the EDI department, and we was absolutely not having it. And so I thank God for the community rising up and standing up, because we have major issues in our community. We know there's a national assault on equity departments all over our nation. You already saw what happened in Florida. You saw the DeSantis playbook to where they make it a strategy to disarm many of our DEI and equity departments. We also see dismantling and defunding of equity departments throughout our nation. We see it in our higher learning. We see it in universities. We see it in colleges. We see it in municipalities, in city governments. We see it in legislatures. Legislators right now in many different states, including ours, are having a strategy to limit the equity work that means so much to many communities, especially communities of color and poor communities. And I just, again, want to just show my appreciation and thanks to those who showed up. Our community showed up in large numbers, and we were represented well. and I want to thank you. This is important, guys. I used to work for the Metropolitan State University Equity Department called WEAC, and I remember when we used to travel in certain areas that was not happy about equity work. I mean, sometimes they were disrespectful. Sometimes they were just looking at a laptop like you wasn't saying nothing. I remember being in the field where we were in white rural areas, and certain white participants didn't want to listen, and or would be passive aggressive and would try to taunt our work. And so we were just really, really thankful that we continued that work, and because it's very important for marginalized communities, very important for poor communities and communities of color, indigenous communities as well. And we need equity, diversity, and inclusion in our school districts. And we need our equity departments to be functioning, our African American Student Services, Mexican American Student Service, Native American Student Service, Asian Pacific Student Services, all is a part and very, very important in our community. And once the powers that be think they can gut out the EDI, what do you think is next? It's going to be those equity departments. I'm sorry to tell you. And one of the things I want, Tom, is for us to come together. You know, one of the things we also saw is we had too many fragmentations of one department wanted the EDI to be gone, and thought they would get extra money, and thought that we were running off misinformation. We wasn't running off of misinformation. The reason why I stood up is because of the fact that I had the right information. And the right information is our community is a better community when we have EDI functioning at the level that it should, and when we have a great leader leading the cause. And so it's very, very important as we see so much going on for racial bias, racism, flat out discrimination, microaggressions, how people are treated based on race or based on sexual orientation or whatever our different things we're afraid to have conversations on, regardless of how you feel about certain stuff. Nobody deserves to be dogged, bullied, or intimidated, harassed for our own personal ideologies. If anybody that understands where we are coming from, especially people of God, is we supposed to show love to people, and you can win people over more with love than you can more with honey than you can with vinegar. And so again, it showed me this past week how much work we still got to do. Don't get me wrong, I still believe we have done some great things in our nation. I think that we have accomplished some goals in these specific areas. Is very sensitive, but we still got more work to do.
Yeah, the only thing we're not doing, bro, is hanging people. No,
right.
we have not advanced, bro.
Yeah.
And before everybody jumps up on their couches, outraged, this is another social program. Let me just read you the mission of this. It's to serve our students and families to the highest potential, ensuring the learning, development, and academic success for every student. Every student.
Yeah.
We will achieve our mission by pursuing diversity through desegregation, integration, and equity of opportunity district-wide, and by eliminating the manifestations of racism, discrimination, and prejudice.
Yeah.
How is that a bad program? How is that a program that we want to oust out of the system? And the gentleman who is the head of District 1, being a man of color, you would anticipate
that's
that
what blew my mind.
He would be carrying the banner.
You said something very important. That's what I had a problem with. I said, doggone it, the superintendent is a man of color. How are you okay with getting rid of EDI? Are you kidding me? There's so much work that we have to do and do better. When we look at the reading scores of children of color, man, it's concerning, man.
Look at the neighborhoods, bro. Look at the districts. Look at the area schools, and who is getting the education, who is not getting the education. And then we're going to argue over, empowerment scholarships, all of those things. And you wonder why that even came about.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's because the job's not being done in the district schools.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's an issue, bro.
It is an issue, and also not just the academics piece, but the discipline piece.
Yeah.
We know that black and brown kids are suspended 3 times more.
Zero tolerance.
Yeah, zero tolerance in laws. They're suspended more, 3 times more than their white counterparts, and all of this. Like, if we can never get better in these issues, if we can't come at the table and be transparent about the data, we cannot get better at these issues if we can't be accountable, have accountability about this data, and to just whitewash a department and just totally delete everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, and then they try to flip like we crazy.
Yeah.
No, we ain't crazy at all. And like we don't have a right to get angry. No, even in the sight of God, there are times where it demands for you to have some anger about some issues. And look, even to this day, after all these years after civil rights, we still are dealing with not just interpersonal racism.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times, Tom, when people think of racism, they think about the interpersonal, and that's me, you having some type of fight, and I'm using microaggressions and racial slurs. That's interpersonal racism.
Yeah.
Tom, racism is bigger than interpersonal.
Yeah.
It's structural.
Yeah.
It's institutional.
It's generational.
It's generation. It's systemic.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And a lot of times, there's policies.
It's in the bone marrow.
Yeah. Thank you. It's in the DNA. It's in the soul of America.
Yeah.
You know, and we still have to fight for these things so that we can just have some type of level of fairness and justice. And we talk about all the time. Why is school to prison pipeline real?
Yeah.
Because the fact of the matter is that many black and brown kids is expelled out of the educational system, paper arrested, or we weaponize the school resource officers, and they take them to juvie, and they incarcerated, and they on their way to adult population.
Yeah, because it's those people, bro. Those people. And people don't even understand when you say those people, and until I fit into that category, bro.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I became those people out of the joint. Those people, man, those those people. Whenever you use a comment to dehumanize a person,
that's right.
You're not going to treat them like a human.
No, it's not. And that's why I felt very offended when Nikki Haley was asked, have the United States have a history of being a racist country? And she said no.
Yeah.
But me as a brown woman have experienced racism. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's almost like contradicting to what you're saying.
Yeah.
And then she quoted that, when the framers framed the Constitution, the statement that all men are created equal. The men that wrote all men are created equal had slaves.
Right.
Am I telling the truth?
No, that's right. That's right, bro. That's history. That's in the book.
Wait a minute. Where's the love?
Yeah.
You say all men are created equal, and the men you own is considered property.
Yeah. And I've told you before, I have wills from back in that time where they were left as chattel. There was property.
That's exactly right.
There was property listed. There was furniture listed.
Right.
There were pillowcases made with goose down that were listed before the slaves.
Oh, most definitely. Almost definitely. And we were standing on marketplace on platforms, butt naked, no clothes on, chains and all kind of bondage devices that showed you that we were demonized, we dehumanized, we wasn't considered human.
So there was no equity.
There's no equity.
That's what happens when there's no equity.
That's what happens when there's no. Exactly right. That's what happens when there's no. And so let me say also, I got to give kudos to my white brothers and sisters that met us down there, because they stood aligned us. They stood right aligned. I give kudos and shout out to some of my white brothers and sisters that went up to that podium and spoke on our behalf, and had some powerful statements. That's what community is about, is when we come together for a joint cause to make sure that our whole community is getting love and getting equity. And you're so right. Is that, man, without equity, we're going to be continuing those same things that we should have got 400 years ago.
Yeah, it's just off the boat. You just got right off the boat.
Yeah.
It's all over again. We're going to
Yeah.
start from gate one.
Yep.
And we're going to put them up on a stage, and that's just, bro, that's where you move to when you stop policies that ensure that everybody receives equal treatment,
That's right.
equal protection.
Yeah.
That is an amendment of the U.S. Constitution.
Yeah. And so I just wanted to spend this show just really talking about those issues because of the fact that if you don't stay on the wall, if we don't keep watching what our superintendent and our board members do, they're going to try to okey-doke us again.
Yeah.
And we can get hoodwinked and bamboozled.
That's the other thing. They're trying to sneak it through.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, during COVID, bro, they did that a few times
Oh,
where they
yeah.
snuck it through, where they did it virtual.
Yeah.
And let's send out an email, give them 24 hours notice.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
news for you, bro. The Administrative Procedures Act and the government, Arizona Procedure Act, they
Yeah.
have to open hearings
Yeah.
with the public for anything that
And we need
concerns.
public hearings.
That's right. And
Yeah.
you need public hearings
Yeah.
because it addresses disenfranchised groups in the community.
Exactly.
By law, they have to have them, and nothing can be changed until they do.
And so one of the things, too, besides outside of the public hearings is now I'm pushing that we have an EDI Community Advisory Board. You need to have members of the community
That's good.
that's partnering with the EDI department so that and so that we can have transparency, so that we can have accountability, so we can look at real life data. We need to be at the table saying we're looking at academic achievement for students of color. We need to know what we need to know the why, and we need to know the how to fix it. Then we need to look at our discipline. The community members at this EDI advisory board need to be saying, what are we doing different? Well, we just can't fix this by just kicking kids out and sending them to the justice system. All of those questions need to shine light on that board. Because if you have more community members on that board that is pushing back, that is asking the right questions, that's not intimidated about who the superintendent is, that's what we need as an advisory board. Because what we learned, Tom, is for the sake of saving their seat, they give you a meeting, but they don't want you. They don't want you at the table.
That's right.
We ain't asking no more
Yeah.
for a meeting.
Right.
We deserve
We're
to
bringing
have
the
a
table.
seat at the table
Yeah.
where the decisions are made.
Yeah.
This is how communities get hoodwinked and bamboozled
Yep.
because we're not sitting on these committees, we're not sitting on these boards.
And isn't that the problem, bro?
Yes, it is.
Is it because these committees are made up of white people?
Yeah,
And it's
yeah,
like we were talking earlier, Bible study. If I have to consider who my audience is, how they're going to hear what I'm saying.
Yeah.
These men have no experience at being black,
No.
at being Hispanic.
Yeah.
They have no experience at the life of someone who lives 24/7 of color.
Yeah.
How can you make a decision with full intention of doing the best for these people
Right.
and not know them?
And then on top of that, and you're exactly right. We have boards full of just white old men that just think that they know it all, and have no lived experience.
We have 80-year-old presidents.
Yeah, right, exactly. And that is not cool. Another thing I want to throw in this segment too is that the district have always misused those DSEC funds.
Oh, yeah.
They treat the DSEC funds like one of the persons that made a statement at the board meeting. You're using the DSEC funds as your personal ATM. I said, boy, that is so powerful. We got to stop using DSEC funds for the district's ATM to pay for programs and positions that has nothing to do with the advancement of black and brown kids, how we can help them to uplift their academics, how we can keep them out from being suspended, keeping them in the classroom. That's what that money is supposed to be going for.
If you did that with grant money, you'd go to prison.
You sure would go to prison.
Right? Because that's illegal, bro.
It
That's
is.
fraudulent to take money that was meant for a program
That's right.
and use it elsewhere
That's
and
right.
not replace that money.
That's right.
That's
So-
a fraudulent scheme. I came from prison, bro. I know a lot of people that run fraudulent schemes. That's a fraudulent scheme.
Oh, you so true. That's funny. You would know. You would know for sure. So the timeout is now. So what is our solutions? We need our community to come together. We don't want the divide and conquer to where even in the equity departments we're fussing and fighting each other. In this cause, we have to come together. I remember in the Dr. King's day and Malcolm X day that there were disruptors that was trying to stop from the inside. Now, a lot of times, I know we celebrate Dr. King now. We got statues and we have all these platforms honoring him, and rightfully so. But when he was alive, it wasn't that easy.
Oh, no.
Oh, there was a lot of disruptors
no.
trying to disrupt the cause.
Yeah.
And the district tried to do that on getting us divided. We cannot be divided in this front. If we have any beef in our community, and I'm saying this now so anybody listening, so they can understand what I'm saying, we all got to come together. We can't have equity directors not on board with the assistant superintendent of EDI, none of that.
Right.
We have to come together. I want the EDI. I want the African American Student Services. I want Mexican American Services directors, Asian directors, Native American equity directors. We need to come all together under the banner of the Equity Institution.
Right.
It's the Equity Institution, and at the end of the day, it's about the kids.
Yeah.
We can have our attitudes. We can do all of that, but at the end of the day, it's about the kids progressing. Without students, none of y'all have no jobs.
That's right. And every one of them been doing that job on their own
Yeah,
for all this time,
yeah,
and look at what it got them.
yeah,
They just went behind their back and tried to cancel them,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
If they start to work together, they have a bigger voice, a greater voice, a more powerful voice. It can't be silenced
Yeah, we better
because
together.
it's not individual.
No, it's not. It's about the kids.
Man.
I think a lot of times we get so caught up as adults
Yeah.
and as professionals, and
We gotta win.
we upset, we offended.
Yeah.
Let's cut out all this BS about being offended.
Yeah.
Let's get out your feelings and get back to the priority, and it is student success means more than anything else because they are our next generation. They are the ones that's going to be dealing with all this global warming issues, all of these different issues
They
we're
are.
having. So we got to make sure that our kids is on point. I know we getting out of time, but I just wanted to spend this time addressing that issue, which is very, very important.
You had an announcement you wanted to make in the last 2 minutes about Fresh Start. Where
Oh
we're
yeah,
going.
so go ahead and talk. I'll pick up this address.
Oh, okay. Fresh Start. I mean, I'll tell you this. I was at a committee meeting today that had the people from the city that are working with the Housing First and all the different areas around that go out into the encampments and stuff. They are working together from all these different departments, and they meet 3 times a week to make sure everybody's on the same page. That's what we need to do with this. That's what we need to do with everything in this city. We got to get together because that's the only way we're going to make a sustainable change.
That's right. All right, you heard it. Listen, Fresh Start Empowerment Clinic is going to take place on March 23rd. It's a Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Come down so we can help you with your legal issues. We will be helping people to get their warrants squashed. We're going to be helping people with suspended license. We're going to help people get their set-asides, get their felony records expunged. Meet me at the Goodwill facility at 1940 East Silver Lake Suite 401, Tucson, Arizona 85713. That is 1940 East Silver Lake. And the suite is 401 Tucson, Arizona 85713. We have a flyer that's going to be made, so keep it locked. We're looking forward to making a difference. Thank you, everyone, for joining us every Saturday morning here at 106 The Groove for the Fresh Start Show. Join us next Saturday, and we're looking forward to seeing you again. And let's come together. So my closing remark is I just want to say congratulations. The community spoke, the board heard, and we got what we want. And the board decided not to even touch EDI. So that's what it means. That's the power we have when we come together in unity. Well, God bless. Have a wonderful weekend. And let's continue to make sure everyone gets a fresh start.